Hi guys, Bomber here, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll be showing you another deck to farm Grandmaster difficulty into single player mode, and today will be a Liet deck, which I like to call the SCRIVADANCE Liet. So, this deck, as the name suggests, is based on the cards Scrivener and the Ceremonial Dance. So from those two cards comes the name SCRIVADANCE. So the Scrivener is a card you already seen, which reads on play turn, draw a ritual, and when you play a ritual, gain +1 resource. And the Ceremonial Dance is a new card, and at least in this channel, and it reads next card you buy, gain a copy of it, and can't copy itself. So as you can see, the pretty neat combo of this deck is that you play first of all the Ceremonial Dance, then you play the Scrivener, and so you get an additional copy from the Ceremonial Dance into your hand. So then you replay the copy of the Scrivener from your hand, and so the on-play effects of the Scrivener activates, and so you will redraw the Ceremonial Dance from your deck. So when you play the new Ceremonial Dance you drew, you will also gain +2 resources from the two Scriveners which are on the board. And so with that combo you can always double the cards you buy thanks to Ceremonial Dance, since you will be redrawing Ceremonial Dance each time you buy a Scrivener or by the on-turn effects of the Scrivener. And so with this deck it's probably like all the cards you buy are doubled. And so this is the main core of this deck. But also we have other additional win conditions. That's a win condition, but it's not a win condition itself. But you will see that if we stack 10 or more Scrivener on the board, each time you play a Ceremonial Dance you will be gaining 10 or more resources, and so it's a win condition in itself. But the first win condition of this deck is the Rite of Combat. And so, which reads, for each card you play until the end of turn, you attack. And so we'll also have probably the Ceremonial Dance on the board when we buy the Rite of Combat. And so we'll gain 2 of them. And so for each card we play, it's actually 2 times the attacks. And then we also have a bunch of additional helps from other cards, like Rat Catcher, which serve the purpose to redraw the Scrivener from our deck, Serpent Altar to attack even more for each card we play, Shrine of Rebirth, which is always nice to redraw the Rite of Combat at the end of the turn if we will be discarding them. And also it's like each coin we play has a chance to redraw itself. And so it's an additional card to play, and so the Rite of Combat will have more cards to be played, and so more attacks will come in the turn. And Festival is a nice card to be sacking the Rat Catcher to redraw the Rite of Combat or the Ceremonial Dance, and also we'll be gaining an additional value from the cards in the bank we'll be restocking. Also for the coins for this deck, the best are Diviner's Charms, as it redraws a card which, if it's a coin, is an additional card to play, but if it's not, is always a very nice addition for the deck. And probably I'll go 10 Diviner Charms if I add them, but the Wishing Coins and stuff like that is always a nice addition. So, in the first match we are against Cardinal Pocky. And so, as I say, the first card to search for in the early game is the Ceremonial Dance and then the Scrivener, but we see that we do not have both of them, and so we'll instead start by playing the Shrine of Rebirth, which is always nice to try and get that additional economy thanks to the procs of the Shrine of Rebirth from our coins. And so we'll go ahead and also kill the Militia, as we do not want him to put too much pressure on us. And so we see that we draw the Ceremonial Dance from the bank, and so we'll go and play it. And we'll pass. Hopefully we'll get the Scrivener from our stocks. And so, since we want badly the Scrivener, we'll go ahead and pass the turn to try and gain additional chances to draw the Scrivener from our deck. But we do not, and so we can't afford to wait longer, and so we'll go and draw the Rite of Combat from our bank, and so we'll actually see that we gain an additional copy thanks to the Ceremonial Dance. We'll play the second Rite of Combat, and then we'll also grab the Serpent Altar to try and get additional attacks from the Rite of Combat. Now, first of all, we'll play the Rite of Combat, then the Ceremonial Dance, and then a pretty passive turn, but it's what we need for the Inquisitor to die. And so we'll actually draw the Scrivener from our bank, but we do not have the economy to grab that, and so we'll need to wait. He played a usury, which is nice for us because now we can grab the Scrivener. First of all, we'll play the Rite of Combat, then the Scrivener, which will draw us the second Rite of Combat, and we'll play that. Then the Scrivener, which will draw the Ceremonial Dance. Then we'll play a coin and another Rite of Combat, which will get another copy from the Ceremonial Dance. And we see that right now we have 3 attacks for card we play, now 4 attacks for card we play, and that's GG. That's the power of this deck. So, in our second match we are against Azalazir, and we see that we are lucky enough to draw the Ceremonial Dance in our first bank, in the early turns back, and so we'll go ahead and grab that. As I said, this is the first card to look for in the early game, and the second card to look for is the Scrivener, which is in our bank, but we do not have the coins to buy it. And so instead we'll do a pretty passive turns, as I do not want to play in his Veil Warden. However, we see that our opponent has a Poem of Blight charged up to 7, and so he'll probably kill all of our resources, and so we'll go ahead and grab the Rite of Combat, as I do not want to lose too much resources. And we'll even heal, as probably we'll play that and yeah, wipe out all of our resources. Now, as before, I do not want him to wipe out our resources, and so we'll go ahead and grab a Shrine of Rebirth, which is always nice, and heal, as I do not want him to cripple our economy too much. Then I'm fine with letting him take 2 coins, but we proc the Shrine of Rebirth, and so we go ahead and grab another Shrine of Rebirth and an additional copy thanks to Ceremonial Dance. Now he was forced to play a card and not gain any effects because we did not have any resources. Now we'll do a pretty passive turns. Wow, those procs. And yeah, I'll still pass as I do not want to commit too much. And now I'll play the Rite of Combat and hopefully proc the Veil Warden. Then play another Shrine of Rebirth, as I do not want to buy the Rite of Combat without the Ceremonial Dance on board. Now you see that the Shrine of Rebirth kept our Rite of Combat into our hand, and so we'll go ahead and play 2 of them. Hopefully we'll get some procs to be able to grab another, and we do, so we'll play that. You see that all those Shrine of Rebirth caused to redraw all the Rite of Combats in our board, and so that's really lucky for us. We'll heal as well, all those procs. Now I do not think we have the Scrivener in our deck, so the Ratcatcher is pretty useless right now, and so we go ahead and grab another Shrine of Rebirth. And yeah, you see, I'll probably be pulling off my coins as I do not want to draw 1 less card, because we are pretty assured to redraw the Rite of Combat thanks from the Shrine of Rebirth, and we do. So that's pretty much it. And now we'll go ahead and draw the Scrivener, so we'll be able to play another Rite of Combat. And also the Festival, because probably we have the machine, not still, but we are pretty close. And now with 3 Rite of Combat, it's pretty much GG. And yes, GG. And now, for the third and final match, we are against Tazin. And so we see that this time we are not lucky enough to be drawing the Ceremonial Dance in our starting bank. And so we'll go ahead and play the Rite of Combat to kill the Heart of God, and be able to redraw it with the Scrivener. So we see that in this match we are trying to be pretty aggressive early on, but we draw the Ceremonial Dance, and so we'll switch our plan to the main combo of the deck, since we also have the Scrivener available. pretty aggressive, our opponent. And now we'll play first of all the Rite of Combat, and then we'll buy the Scrivener. We'll get an additional copy thanks from the Ceremonial Dance. We'll replay that, and so we gain a bunch of additional resources, and we'll pass. Now he's able to kill both our Scriveners. If not, we would have redrawn the Rite of Combat, but we do not. And so I'm holding on because the next turn will be a pretty big turn, because we'll draw the Rite of Combat and get 2 copies from the Ceremonial Dance, and it will probably be GG, because each of our cards is now worth 3 attacks. And we'll also buy the Serpent Altar for the 3 final attacks, so GG. So, as you have seen, this deck is pretty fast and deadly early on, as showcased in the 3rd match in particular. And so that's awesome to farm Grandmaster mode. It's not that good into multiplayer mode, as it's not that competitive in that format, but against the AI in Grandmaster is very fast, and so it's very good to farm silver into that mode. So that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. Leave a comment down below to what you would like to see in the next videos, and see ya.